Hello and welcome to Local Lunch on UCFM 87.8. Right now, we're joined by a very special guest, Sam from Ballpark Music. Thank you so much for joining us, mate.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Now, we wanted to start this, and this is what we normally start with musicians when we talk to them. What have you been listening to lately?
Oh man, this question always stumps me so much. Not because I don't listen to music, but because I have the worst memory. Hang on, I'm going to have open up Spotify.
That's all good.
Probably, you know what I've been listening to? Probably heaps of boring, dreary news podcasts just about the state of the world.
That's all right. Podcasts are cool too.
It's important.
Podcasts are important.
Actually, I have had a bit of a... we went to New Zealand last week, and we started in Wellington, and I hadn't been there before. And it's a really pretty city, and I took a big long walk all around the hills, and I was like, I want to listen to some obvious New Zealand music. So I've just been actually having a huge Crowded House binge.
Yes. Very nice.
Grew up with them. My parents played it all the time, so it's kind of in my blood, but it's been really fun revisiting that. And I also love Neil Finn's son, Liam Finn's music as well, so I've been listening to some of his music as well.
There we go. A bit of Kiwi rock has been on the rotation recently.
Yeah, that's it.
Missed opportunity to play the Lord of the Rings soundtrack.
Next time. That'll be good walking music.
So, we had a question about the name Ballpark Music. How'd you guys come up with it? What inspired the name?
Well, when I was a kid, I used to hear like my parents and other adults chatting, saying, can you give me a ballpark figure, when they're asking for.
Yeah.
And I used to think, that's kind of an interesting phrase. So I actually, when I started making music by myself in high school, I actually made a MySpace page and called it Ballpark Figure, and that was my big plan. And I actually just forgot the login details for that page, so I made a new one called Ballpark Music.
Right. So this whole time it could have been Ballpark Figure.
Yeah, I guess so.
That was bad.
And,
that was bad, Ewan.
Yeah, that's not the most exciting story in the world, but that's how we ended up here.
No, nice. And what kind of brought the whole band together? How did you guys kind of form into the Ballpark Music we know today?
Well, we all met at uni in Brisbane. We were all similar age and had sort of left home, and we're going to uni in Brisbane studying music. So, yeah, we met there and started playing together at uni, and yeah, just been doing it ever since.
Wow, yeah. You guys have recorded about 8 albums, which is absolutely incredible. What's the whole journey been like so far?
The whole journey.
Tell us the whole story.
From the very start.
Here we go. You got your own podcast now. The Ballpark Journey.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's been great. We obviously like it. We're still here doing it, and been doing it for 17 years now. So, there's not much love lost for making music. We're really grateful to be able to do it and to be able to call it, our work or whatever. We love it.
Awesome. Let's talk about the most recent album though, Like Love. I've been loving watching the mini YouTube series that you've put up about the making of that, which is really cool. And we've both noticed that you've kind of focused more on acoustic sounds, if you'll agree. You've included that in the writing of this album. What's the making of this one been like?
Yeah, well, even though it might not have always been obvious, listening to our other records, that's kind of how a lot of our songs have begun. And even, going all the way back to the start when I did first meet the band, I was writing a lot more. Yeah, I guess we can call it acoustic sort of stuff and playing songs like that. So that's always been there. That's kind of feels like my roots in a way, that sort of folk singer-songwriter thing. And then, we've touched on that sound here and there, across our albums. Songs like Cherub come to mind. And I think probably ever since Cherub, that desire to make an album that focuses more on that kind of sound had been growing, and yeah, we just finally did it. Did an album where we were trying to be softer and lean into that side of our band, and with a much more heavy emphasis on the songwriting.
Well, it's worked out very nicely, and you're accompanying it with a very nice, or I suppose long tour, I suppose, at the moment.
Yeah.
And how's that been so far? You spoke just briefly about how you're in New Zealand last week, and I'm not sure how many stops in you are, but how has it been so far?
Yeah, it's been great. I'm also have lost count of how many shows we've done now. I think we must be around halfway-ish or something like that. I think there's like 30-something shows in total, so it's definitely one of the biggest tours we've done for a while. And yeah, just last night when I was packing my bag, I was saying to my wife, like, oh man, like, I'm pretty tired, hey, like just as I get a bit older, like touring's just like a bit harder on the body sort of thing. And she reminded me, like, this is the longest tour you've done for a bit. Like you'd normally be finished by now. I think most of our Australian tours in the past have probably been, closer to 10 shows or whatever. But yeah, it's been good. I think really nice to do just a huge tour and to visit New Zealand as well, like we mentioned. And most of the capital cities are done now, so we're after tonight in Canberra, it gets pretty regional from here. So yeah, it should be fun.
For sure.
So yeah, that's crazy. And in November, you guys have a very special concert coming up. You're opening for Oasis. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's been obviously one of the biggest bits of news for us this year. Yeah, safe to say that kind of surprised and shocked the hell out of us. We're very excited, also a bit nervous, as I'm sure you would be too. But yeah, just looking forward to it. I think it'll be a pretty interesting experience. Yeah, I have really no idea what to expect from the whole thing, but certainly pretty pumped going into it. Like really, really looking forward to it.
I mean, I saw that you got a response from Liam Gallagher on Twitter that he liked the song Manny, which is, I mean, one of the highest compliments that I assume that a musician can get is from one of the Gallagher brothers. How did that feel?
Well, it felt awesome. Like we obviously had been notified that they wanted us to play the show, and then the show, we were announced as being the support act, and at this point we still didn't exactly know how it had all come about. Of course, a little part of you wants to believe that maybe they have actually heard your music and like genuinely want your band to play, but you really don't know how these things necessarily come about. But yeah, that was on the day that we were announced as support. Someone had asked Liam on Twitter, like, whose idea was it to get Ballpark? And yeah, he replied and said, yeah, it's mine, and I love Manny. And yeah, I remember Dino screenshotted that and sent it to me. I was already riding pretty high that day from announcing that news, but that was definitely the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
I definitely had an extra little bit of confidence, thinking like, holy shit, they really, maybe they've at least heard one song. Like that's enough for me. Like unreal.
Yeah,
It's a big
that's
deal.
good enough. Yeah, for sure.
So now are you guys going to add a stadium band to the resume?
I guess so. Well, we haven't done it yet, but
Also,
yeah, maybe
yeah.
afterwards.
Well, okay, yeah, you got to wait for the tour to happen. That's true. Are you going to rename the band to Football Park Music after you play with Oasis? Or Football
No.
Stadium
Olympic
Music?
Park music.
Olympic Park Music? We'll riffing on ideas for you beforehand.
I think we'll persevere with the existing.
Yeah, I think that's the best idea too.
The businessman in me says, let's not make a big change.
Very true.
All right, so we love your new album. My favourite song off it is, of course, Please Don't Move to Melbourne. Here's a question for you. Who moved to Melbourne?
Well, I started writing that song a long time ago. It would have been in 2017 when a bunch of my bunch of my friends were leaving Brisbane, and yeah, we would have all been in our like mid to late 20s around then, and just kind of, you know, living it up, having the best time. And, you know, it's sort of like that perfect age where, you know, you got a little bit of money in your pocket, but you don't have too many responsibilities. We're all hanging out a lot and partying, and it feels like this amazing time in your life that's going to last forever. So when a bunch of mates announced that they were leaving, some for Melbourne and others went to, you know, London and all these, you know, wonderful places. And yeah, suddenly you are in Brisbane like, oh shit, like, I guess I'm just staying here. And naturally you're like, what am I doing with my life? You know, that sort of thing. So I wrote the chorus back then. Yeah, just because some mates were leaving, but it sort of sat around for all these years. I didn't really know how to finish the song. And yeah, when we were working on this record, and I was hanging with the band and sort of showing them just rough songs that I had sitting around, and we started playing that one, and they immediately kind of fell in love with it. And yeah, as we worked on it, I just managed to put some verses together. It also, I guess with the verses, I kind of made the song feel like it's got a more of a like, you know, romantic kind of love, you know, as its foundation, even though it was more thinking about friends, like when it was started. But yeah, long time in the making. But I never forgot the idea. I was like, oh, a song about people bailing from Brisbane to Melbourne.
Stuck with it.
That's a good song idea.
What have people in Melbourne made of that song? Have you copped any flack from, you know, Melburnians for saying please don't move to their city?
No, well, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's like a tiny, you know, people are sort of like, oh, you know, what's the problem with Melbourne? Like, definitely, you know, have a problem
Brisbane,
with Melbourne. You know, we love Melbourne. I definitely understand why everyone wants to move there, but Melbourne's probably had the best reaction to the song. I think they're just very, very pleased with themselves. I think they're just little ego boost. They seem to all be patting themselves on the back, and they probably had the biggest bloody sing-along in the whole tour so far.
I see. Well, one city that is certainly better than Melbourne, and we can confirm that, is Canberra. And you are playing lovely, sunny and warm all the time, all year round. I saw you guys play at Stonefest 2 years ago, and I remember on stage you brought up a fact that you played, I can't remember how many shows in Canberra, but I wanted to ask you what number you're up to now, if you remember.
Oh, it's funny you asked me this, because Paul, our keys player, who's our resident, you know, statistician, everywhere we go, he'll sneak up behind me and say, do you want to have a guess what number show this is here? And, you know, he always knows. Oh, wow. So I actually know the number. I actually thought it was going to be higher, but tonight is our 16th show in Canberra.
16th? Wow.
Sweet 16.
I was thinking like 6 or 5. I didn't think it was up to 16. Wow.
Oh, yeah, I feel like it should be more, but anyway, 16 is not a bad effort, I reckon.
Yeah, that's great. It's probably more than most Canberra bands, I got to say.
Gosh, get a birthday cake. Yeah, wow.
Do you remember what the first one was like?
Oh, just going back some time. I'm trying to think of what the first one would have actually been. Like, I've got some pretty... yep. I can think of what it would have been. We would have been supporting a band called Hungry Kids of Hungry, that were like an indie band from Brisbane who were, touring back in the day, and they invited us. And another good band from Melbourne, Big Scary, was on the bill. And we played at this place that was just outside of Canberra. I feel like the word green is in the name, or like maybe the venue was called the Green Room. And I'm trying to think of what part of Canberra it was in. But
it's unfortunately not coming to us either. We're staring at each other, like trying to figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, the venue is probably gone. You know, this is like so long ago.
Yeah.
But I remember when we were going there, you know, kind of place like people raise their eyebrows a bit, like we want to have fun kind of thing. And it was pretty rowdy. I remember when Big Scary were playing, a girl in a cowboy hat climbed up on stage and climbed up on their singer's back while he's playing guitar and rode him like a bucking bull. And he's like, their singer Tom, he's a pretty like sensitive, shy sort of guy. I think he felt really awkward, and this girl's on his back just like, you know, yeah.
Yeah, no,
yes,
that's completely understandable. I mean, I'd be the same, to be honest.
Canberra does get pretty rowdy. Do you have a favourite Canberra show that you've had or been to?
Of all the 15 so far?
16?
16, sorry.
Yeah, well, we're at the Refectory again tonight, and we've had some great shows in there. I always really enjoy playing that room, and I'm excited to be back. I think tonight might be the biggest crowd we've ever had for the room, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Cool.
And but a lot of my fondest memories in Canberra are the Groove and the Moo shows we did over the year. I'm so bummed that Grooven's not a thing anymore, because always loved playing here, and the Canberra one, probably no surprises here, was always the coldest one, and and the festival would always just like do some extra little treats like in the backstage area for the artists, because it's so cold. Like they'd have fires going, and they'd make like hot chocolates and mulled wine, and it was just always like a really good vibe, coming from Brissy. Like it's so fun and novel to be in some proper cold weather, and
it's certainly no exception today. You've come on one of the coldest weeks of the year so far as well, which is just a lovely Canberra hug for ballpark music.
Look, I'm here for it. We're enjoying it.
That's awesome. Well, that's all we've got for you, Sam. Thank you so much for joining us. And I think there are a few more tickets for the show tonight, so if people do want to come along, you can grab some last minute tickets and come see Ballpark Music and the others too.
Hell yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much, Sam.
Thank you so much, Sam.
No worries, guys. Thanks for having me.